Hey fam, Master Coach G here, mind, body, soul. And in this episode, I'm talking about reframing. Here's why the subject has come up, and I believe that it's definitely noteworthy. Women, including myself, have a multitude of roles to fulfill. We're wives, mothers, grandmothers, sisters, aunts, while managing jobs or even businesses, running the household, and more. So that's why I believe that this subject is crucial, that we prioritize self-care, mind, body, soul. Taking care of ourselves is essential, and reframing the limited beliefs that's integrated in us over time, and shedding some of these things, especially the persona of Superwoman, I think is essential. So stay tuned as I share beneficial information for us to be empowered for self-care, mind, body, soul, and personal growth. Stay tuned for more. I'm Coach G, and I'll see you on the inside. Hey fam, Master Coach G here, thriving after 50. And in today's episode, I am talking about reframing. Here's why the subject has come up, and I believe that it is noteworthy. Women, including myself, fulfill a multitude of roles like wives, mothers, grandmothers, sisters, aunts, all while maintaining jobs or even running businesses, households, and even more. That's why it's crucial for us to prioritize self-care, mind, body, soul, not just in the physical realm. Yes, that's important, but it's also important that we do some reevaluation, soul searching, if you will, because taking care of ourselves is essential. So reframing the limited beliefs that we have integrated in us over a period of time, and shedding some of those limited beliefs, such as the persona of being Superwoman, being able to do it all. I don't know about some of you, but I grew up in an era where I heard my grandmother would often say, a man works from sun to sun, but a woman's work is never done. And she demonstrated that with always being up doing something. So now my life for the past 60 plus years has been ran according to that limited belief. So no, I do not have to work from sun up to sundown or even beyond that. I do have the ability to do less and just prioritize. So I think it's the mindset, because we want to be able to embrace a healthier mindset by unlearning that kind of belief, because for years and years and years it was more of a hindrance than a benefit. Okay, I'll just put it like that. But reframing our thinking involves shifting our perspectives on a situation or a problem, excuse me, gaining new understanding and the approach of that understanding. So here's some things that I discovered that I want to share that we might want to consider. The first thing is challenge. I think that we should challenge the things that we believe and ask ourselves, are these things based on facts, or are we just biased from the things that we learned that just throughout life? Okay. For instance, like, the story with the roast, and how every, women cut the ends of the roast off, but not knowing that that was just a biased opinion. It wasn't based on any facts. But the fact of the matter was that the pan was too small. That was the fact of the matter. But was that even being considered, or just biased because my mother did it or my grandmother did it? So yeah, we should challenge those kind of things. I even challenge the statement that my grandmother made, that a man works from sun to sun and a woman's work is never done. I have to challenge that belief. I have to. And the reason why I have to challenge that is because, is it beneficial? Does it serve me? So yes, we do have to challenge those things. And here's another one, is to consider the alternative, to look at things from a different perspective. because it's the way that we interpret situations. So what if we reframed it and looked at it from a different perspective? Okay. And focus on the possibilities instead of dwelling on the limitations. Think about what could be possible if we change our approach, because that's important in order for us to be able to consider looking at challenging that belief, because we do have to be open for change in that approach. Even before we even start the challenge, we have to have an open mind. Once we challenge the statement or the belief, then at that point we have to have an open mind. Here's something else is that we can focus on, and this is one of the things that is big for me, excuse me, because I have an extreme personality. So I have to shift my focus on what's going right versus what's going wrong. And what I mean by that is like right now, for instance, I have an injury. So my mindset, my focus has been on the injury, not focusing on some other things that I need to see. So I'm missing some things that I need to see because of where my focus is. So if I start to focus the gratitude and says, okay, well, even though I had this injury and I can't have the same routine in life that I've had for the past several years, now my mindset has to shift. Okay, then that leads me to be able to visualize my injury becoming better and being able to get back to the routine that I've had, because I will be able to determine that outcome of that situation. So me staying positive and motivated is what helps me to be able to take those steps in being able to know that I will be able to reach that point. And it's not easy for me, and I don't know about, a lot of you, but that is definitely always a setback, because when I get an injury, because my pain tolerance level is so high, I just kind of feel the pain, but I just keep going. And that's where I make my mistake. And that's a part of the self-care, is being aware, is being aware. It's like, okay, if you are doing something that you're used to doing and now you're starting to feel a little discomfort, it hasn't even got to the pain yet. It's just discomfort. But whatever it is, then at that point it's time to reevaluate and reframe that whole thought process, because we have to look at it from a different perspective. And also seek some feedback. Have some people in your life that you can kind of bounce things off of. I am a part of a group of ladies, and we're all entrepreneurs. And when it comes to whether it's health and wellness or fitness or business or whatever the case may be, we all get together once a week and we just bounce things off of each other. We all have a different perspective, and it's very beneficial for us. So seek feedback. Whatever it is that you're dealing with, seek feedback, so that way you'll have a different perspective and you will be able to reframe that belief that you're dealing with. Just continue to use the positive language while you're reframing that whole thought, because it is a process. That's the part you have to understand. This is a process. Reframing is a process. It's not something that you just do. You will get to the point where you just do it, but at this point, because you're learning, you do have to learn how to reframe. Okay, so the words that you choose can change your perspective. So try to reframe the things in a more positive light. Reframing your thinking is resetting, okay, which can be very transforming. It can be a very transforming process. When you take the time to reframe your thinking, you can reset your life and transform your life, okay? So here's some things to consider in order to be able to do that. Self-reflection. The self-awareness, same thing, okay? Take time to understand your thoughts, feelings, and behavior. Okay? Because when we don't do that, we continue on in the same thing. And when it no longer serves us, then we have to be able to shift. But we have to start with reframing that, and we have to do the self-reflection so that we can become self-aware. And then we can be accountable for that and then make the adjustments, which are the 3 A's. Okay. Now, however, you have to be able to do that where you are able to understand your thoughts, your feelings, and your behavior. However, you have to do that, whether that's with someone who you trust with that, or journaling. I know some people say that they find that helpful. It may be something you may want to explore. But make sure that you're identifying the limited belief, okay? Recognizing the negative belief that's holding you back, okay? What held me back was believing that my work was never done. I was working harder and not smarter. So that was a negative belief. I didn't realize that it was a negative belief, but yes, it did hold me back because there was a lot of times that I should have prioritized things versus just doing them, doing, okay? So challenge these beliefs by questioning, hey, really, is this facts, or am I just going off of what I was taught? Okay? And then replacing them with something that is going to serve you, something that's going to empower you. That's what we have to do. And in order to do that, we have to set goals. Okay. Now that I understand that that is a limited belief, now I have to set a clear goal. Okay. So what are my priorities? Okay. I have to know what is it that I need to focus on that's going to help empower me. What do I have to focus on that's going to serve me? And I have to make those specific goals, but I also have to make them measurable, achievable, and relevant to my purpose. Okay. And to me, that's really important. Okay. So it has to be measurable, achievable, and relevant to my purpose. And I hope that it will be relevant to yours as well. Again, practicing the gratitude is a habit. If we could develop that habit, it definitely will shift your focus, because sometimes we can get on a role, if you will, of the downside of something. Okay. It's like the first few days of having this injury, I was like just beating myself up because I knew that I should have done things differently. So, but what I should have been doing was focusing on something else, because I almost missed something that could have turned into the same injury, but just on the opposite side. So, it would almost cause me to miss something that was very relevant. So that's the reason why I think shifting your mindset to gratitude of saying what's going right and being able to focus on that, because that allows you to be able to see the broad picture. Plus, it just helps you to increase your positivity too, okay? Adopting a growth mindset. Embrace the challenges and view the failures, whatever they are. That's a part of the self-awareness and acknowledging it. But view it as an opportunity for growth, because what we do is we learn from our failures. Failure is not a bad thing. It's only a bad thing if we don't learn from it. So yes, it is a part of growth, and we can learn something from it, and we may not be able to use it in the next episode of our lives or the next chapter of our lives, or the next moment of our lives, but at some point we will have learned the lesson and won't be able to go back and make that same mistake to produce failure again. Okay, so this is a mindset that can help us to set and stay resilient, and to be open with learning and embracing that. Make sure that we are surrounding ourselves with positivity, especially our circle of people, our inner circle, people that have influence over us. What I've learned is that whoever has our ear has influence over our decisions. It has influence over our decision making. So that's why it's important that we realize who has influence over us. So we have to surround ourselves with positivity and engage in ourselves with people who are going to uplift and inspire us, okay? And to be supportive and encourage our growth, Okay. I believe that mindful prayer and meditation is something that we definitely should incorporate in practicing, because mindfulness is a way for us to reduce anxiety, and it just enhances our well-being. It just enhances our emotional well-being, and that's the reason why we should incorporate mindfulness with prayer or meditation, whichever you prefer, deep breathing, whatever it is that relaxes you and gets you to the point where you can enhance your emotional well-being. Then that is what you need to practice. You know, get a plan and then take action. You know, start making small changes. You know, take small steps. You don't have to do everything at once, but build some momentum so that you can continue the transformation. Be patient, but be persistent. Okay? Change does take time, and we have to be patient with ourselves so that we can stay committed on the journey. Because if we're not patient and realize that we do have to give ourselves grace, we will be faced with a setback. So we have to be patient with ourselves. That helps us to stay committed on this journey. And it is a journey. This is not something that that we do today and tomorrow we don't do it. This is a journey because every day we want to stay on the path of health and wellness. So yes, it's a journey. But in order to reduce the risk of setbacks that we are going to face, because life be lifing, and with that we have to understand that we do have to be patient. But we have to celebrate the progress too. So we have to acknowledge and celebrate any and all achievements. It doesn't matter how big or small they are, even the small wins. We have to recognize those because that is what encourages us to continue on the path of the journey. Okay, it kind of reinforces the positive behavior, and it keeps us motivated. So yes, absolutely. Being actively engaged in these practices of reframing can help us to create a new path in life. So I highly urge you to use these strategies so that you can create a more constructive mindset that will allow us for growth and understanding, okay, of our thoughts, our feelings, and our behavior, okay? Hey, that's what I have for you today. I hope that this episode has added value to your life. Thank you for joining me here on Mind, Body, Soul. Before I get out of here, I want to give a shout out to my listeners here in the United States, Canada, Belgium, UK, Mexico, Russia, France, Brazil, Ireland, India, Bangladesh, Australia, and Nigeria. I thank you for listening, and I can pray that my audience will continue to grow. Hey, if this podcast has been a benefit to you, please subscribe, follow, write a review, share it with someone who you feel like it may be a benefit to them as well. I appreciate you listening today, and remember, knowledge applied is power. This is Master Coach G, and I'll see you on the next level.